Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again. In today's video, I just want to update you guys on the home gym and the lack of progress therein, as well as answer some other questions that I got on the last video regarding home gyms, as well as some of my social media posts. Finally vent some feels with you, because that's what YouTube's all about, sharing them feels. So as far as this goes, again, for background, for those of you that don't know, this house that we're in now is something that the Beyonce and I purchased roughly 10 months ago, so less than a year ago. And as part of that, it's a brand new house, which means there's nothing that needs fixing or improving, but it has about a 900 to 1,000 square foot basement that's completely unfinished, which we do plan on finishing at some point, but we also really wanted to put a home gym in there. And by we, I mean me mostly, and I convinced her to do it.
Do it! Do it! Come on!
Got them negotiation skills, but that's another story, or maybe another video. But anyways, we're gonna put it in. So I did some basic prep for this, mainly painting the floor, as well as eventually putting some plastic sheeting in the ceiling to cover the insulation, which you guys pointed out last video, and I neglected to get into depth on what my plans were for that. That's just really temporary fixes again, because eventually we will be completely finishing the entire basement. But since we've only been here less than a year, it's probably another year or so out. So sometime within the next year after the wedding, we will more than likely finish the basement. So after the wedding is another key point. Initially, I didn't really want to get into this home gym thing until after the wedding, because I figured with all the shipping and putting stuff together, it would just be a big headache, and I didn't want to have to deal with that along with the wedding prep. However, after I decided on the equipment I wanted, both from Rogue and Sorinex, I found out that I could have everything in place and up and running by this week. So this week that you're watching the video. And I should have been able to do that. Should. Now, as far as Sorinex goes, they have a cutoff date of August 28th. And as part of that, I understand it took them a little bit longer to ship it. So that's why we have August 28th as the date. Only because, as you guys noticed from my other videos, the ceiling height in my basement is roughly 7.5 to 8 feet tall. And that would be kind of cutting it close with their racks, or at least the one that I went with. So I had it custom fabricated to cut off about 6 inches. Probably the only space I can really afford to lose some inches, if you know what I'm saying. So that way when you do pull-ups and stuff, you're not hitting your head on the insulation, which again, you guys pointed out last time and I have since covered, which was in my plan all along, but I just do very bad jobs at updating you. So that should be here this week. And the Rogue order, which was the bars, the bench, and all the weight plates, should have been here last week. And in my last video, I showed you guys a little bit of that. I showed you the bars, I showed you the bench, and I showed you the change plates I got, but I was roughly missing around 700 pounds of plates. And this is where my frustration comes in. Again, everything should have been settled by this week, and it's looking like it will be, except for the fact that I'm missing 700 pounds of weights. So when I had the UPS freight delivery guy come on Monday, a week ago, he told me that he only had half my order. And the reason he only had half my order is because there was a person in Massachusetts that also had an order in that day from Rogue, and they thought that that pallet of weights was supposed to go with his order. So they mistakenly put it on the truck, and it's in Massachusetts. But not to fear, all I have to do is call their office in Providence, tell them my problem, they're aware of it, and they will ship it to me the next day. And I said, you know what, that's fine. I'll take what you have now and I'll just get the weights tomorrow. So after he delivered the bars, I went back to my house, which was just right outside, right out that window, and I called the UPS office and I stated my case, and they agreed. They said, yes, it's on this other truck. We'll get it to you first thing tomorrow if you're available. I said I was, and that was that. Or so I thought. The next morning came, I decided to call UPS just to get an idea of their delivery time, because typically with UPS Freight, they give you a 4-hour window. And the person I spoke to this time told me that they weren't able to locate the pallet of missing weights. So I thought that was strange, only because I heard from 2 separate people the same story of, it was on this truck, we know exactly where it is, we'll get it to you tomorrow morning. This new person told me that's not the case, and they have no idea where the pallet was. So I said, what are my options? And they told me they were going to look through the warehouse right now and see if they could find it. They'd call me right back. 5 hours go by, no call back. I called back to UPS and they said, oh yes, we couldn't find it. We're going to wait till tonight when all the trucks come back in, because we unload them all, and then we'll have a better idea if it's here at this location or not. So I was kind of perturbed a little bit that they didn't call me back like they said they would to update me on the status, but I kind of just let it slide and said, all right, give me a call tomorrow morning. They said they would. Tomorrow morning comes, no call. Waited a couple hours till mid-morning, called them back, and they said, oh yeah, we couldn't find it at all either. And that's all they said. They didn't really give me any options or any other updates. They just said, oh, we haven't found it yet. Strong, UPS. Strong. So this kind of got me a little bit annoyed, aggravated. I started having to prompt them to see what the process was to find the weights. Eventually, what this led me to was to contact the main UPS site and really just bitch and complain and get a supervisor to help me, who then integrated more of a search for all the locations that the weights had been in from when it left Rogue in Ohio, which I didn't think was really necessary as is because it shows on my receipt that the weights were scanned in at Providence. I told them the fact that the driver and the first person I talked to both told me that they knew exactly where the plates were and they mistakenly got put on a truck to another person with a Rogue order. But what they told me was, you know what? If someone were to get the wrong pallet, they wouldn't accept it. They'd tell us and give the pallet back. Strong, real strong. UPS, you're not doing so hot in my book. So regardless, here we are a week later. UPS still has no idea where the pallet is. They haven't looked into this investigation as far as just checking with the other person who they delivered that pallet to, potentially, or at least what the driver told me initially as far as their story goes. So it's been really frustrating on my end because they haven't been helpful at all. And the way that their process works on their end, they said is something has to be missing for 2 weeks time before they really file it as missing. So I don't even want to get more into it just because I'll get mad. Regardless, UPS, I'm not a big fan of. However, Rogue has been really nice in this subject, so I've kind of been updating them and they've been contacting UPS as well to try to find it because things just don't add up. The fact that you have it logged into Providence, you have 2 people telling us that it was left Providence to go to another order, but it would be coming back and back to me, just doesn't make sense. So Rogue is going to go ahead and just reship me all the items I ordered. One of the things that I ordered was actually at a discount or clearance, which is no longer in stock. So they're going to upgrade me to the full version and you guys will get more information on that as it comes. So I'm really happy with them that the fact that they're still saying that it's going to get to me this week, even though it's not their fault by any means. So Rogue definitely gets a big thumbs up in my book. UPS, you get a different finger, which I won't mention on this video. But that's a little bit update of where I am currently. As far as where things are going, I will try to update you when that stuff comes in. Eventually, when everything is in, which I'm not sure if I'll be able to do this video before the wedding or not, I will be doing a video overview of how much everything costs, my cost, just so you guys get an idea. I know a lot of you guys are interested in this. Just let me tell you right now, it's really fucking expensive. But in some cases, I didn't want to skimp on things, so I went to medium to high ground on a lot of the products I ordered just because this is something I'm going to be using and I want it to be nice. I don't want to necessarily skimp on the weights or the bars or the racks or whatever, or the platforms. So you'll see some of that. And over time, as I upgrade things or add to it, I'll be doing updated videos. I'll also want to do reviews on everything. So should makes for some pretty entertaining videos, hopefully. So that's where we stand. As always, thanks for watching. In the meantime, stay big.